everybody, welcome to the Hacienda. Rivet here. Today we're going to make Stifado. It's a Greek beef stew with shallots and pearl onions. Essentially that's it. Of course it's going to have some fresh garlic. I'm not showing the total quantities, but it's very heavy. I've got 2 pounds of shallots. I got 2 bags of these pearl onions. We got the bouquet garni of fresh oregano and rosemary, bay leaves, ground allspice, pepper, salt, and a cinnamon stick. Here we have a combination of balsamic vinegar and balsamic syrup. We got tomato paste, and we're going to use about half this can of peeled tomatoes. The star of this is, how do you pronounce this? Agiorgitiko. It is a Greek wine, very fruity, very delicious, and is a signature in this particular recipe. So let's go ahead and get prepping. What I have here is a total of 4 pounds of beautiful chuck roast, which I am going to trim and cut up for the Stifado. And here we have the chuck nicely trimmed and cut into good sized chunks. Over medium heat in equal parts butter and olive oil, we're going to brown the shallots, and then we're going to set them off to the side. We are going to brown the meat in batches in the same oil and butter that the shallots were in until they get that nice Maillard reaction on there and get nicely brown. After that, they're going over there into this pot that we are going to stew the stew in. Okay, so in bunches from here to there. So I've added all the meat over here to the pot, and I put the shallots over top of them. I've turned the heat off, and now we are going to deglaze the pan with a tube of muti tomato paste. Okay, this is really good stuff, and let me get all that squoze in there. Okay, with that, we got some of this great Agiorgitiko wine, and we're going to stir that around. Now, I tried a sip of that wine. It is fabulously delicious. It reminds me of a very, very, very fruity tempranillo. Fruit up front, cherries and plums, and then the tempranillo, the hot leather, the typical tempranillo flavors come through afterwards. Very nice wine. So with this, we're going to stir this, deglaze it. Then I'm going to add this over there, over top of the meat and the shallots. Oh, and I forgot to say, this is where the balsamic vinegar and the balsamic syrup goes in to get that nicely mixed together. Alright, got that sauce transferred into this pot. That was a hoot. There's no way I could have filmed that. Okay, so to that we're going to add fresh garlics, the seasonings, the what's that? Cinnamon stick, bay leaves, allspice, salt and pepper, a good cup of wine. Oh, one other thing over here I forgot. We got the bouquet garni, and then the tomatoes. I ended up using that whole can of San Marzanos. So let's turn the heat back up to high and get this baby bubbling. Okay, now that it's bubbling real nicely, we're going to cover it, and we're going to turn it down to a simmer and cook it for 1 hour. Join me then. Alright, it has been 1 hour. Now we need to take the lid off and simmer it for another hour. But I want to show you this great device my wife made me. It's a double-handled hot pad. It's got 2 mittens one on each side. It's very long, and it allows you to put your hands in like this, and you have all this distance, you know, two feet to be able to grab things like that. Very cool. So we're going to take the lid off, and you can see all this delightful cooking. We're going to turn it down to low because now that it's open, well, we'll leave it at between low and 2. And we're going to continue to cook this for another hour. Now I stuck the bouquet garni down in there and kind of mixed it up a little bit. At this point, we're going to add the pearl onions. Okay? And we really don't need to mix them in there. We're just going to put them like that and allow them to add their deliciousness to the pot. See you in an hour. This is after 1 hour uncovered, and I've fished out the cinnamon stick, the bouquet garni, and a couple of the elusive bay leaves. Let's go ahead and plate some up. And here we go, a steaming plate of goodness. Here we have the Greek beef stew and some white rice. And boy, it smells magnificent. So let's try the sauce and the rice first, because that smells so good. Oh, wow. That is to write home about. Now, I had my doubts. I'm not a big fan of cinnamon, you know that. Not a big fan of allspice. But this is way more than the sum of its parts. And all those flavors, nothing is overwhelming. They all meld completely together very nicely. I'm going to need a knife for that. This is supposed to be fork tender, but apparently not. So we're going to use a knife. But it's still soft. Let's see what it tastes like. Very soft in the mouth. Very nice. Chuck is a flavorful cut of beef. And we have the pearl onions here. Sweetness. And we put crumbled feta cheese and spring onion greens. Oh, look at this shallot. Just squeezing apart goodness. Oh man. That shallot is amazing. That is good. I should have bought twice as many shallots and put them in there. Now I have some crusty sourdough bread here on the counter behind me, and that's going to be used to sop up this sauce. This is delightful. This is definitely a make again, without a doubt. That wine was fantastic. The sauce is just gorgeous. I'll do that again. That is amazing. Thanks for watching, people. Y'all take care.